Alright, let's go ahead and move into the lab section of our access control list video so that we can see this in action. So the purpose of our lab here is to configure an extended and a standard ACL. Looks like we have an internal network going on over here with a few different network IDs, and then an external network out here represented in the gray. If we move over into our tasks, task 1 says observe full connectivity within the current network, a diagram. All devices can reach all devices. So if we hopped into PC1, essentially what we're testing for here is that we can ping everybody. So first let's go ahead and ping PC0 at 20.20.20.3. Give Packet Tracer a second to work things out, as always. Looks like we can hit that. Let's go ahead and ping the server next at 40.40.40.3. We can hit that as well. Finally, let's ping that device that's on the external side at 30.30.30.3. And it looks like that succeeds as well. So we do indeed have full connectivity throughout this entire network diagram. So on to task number 2, it says configure and apply a standard numbered access list that only allows devices in the 20.20.20.0 network and the web server to reach external devices. So it looks like we're going to be configuring something that only allows PC0 and the web server to ping out to this device out here. So if we hop into our router, we're going to want to go into global configuration mode, and we're going to go ahead and specify an access list, access-list. We'll just give it a number of 1 because it's going to be a standard one. And we'll say permit 20.20.20.0, 0.0.0.255 for our first statement. That's going to allow the devices in the 20.20.20 network to reach out. And then we'll go into that access list 1 again, and we'll say permit host 40.40.40.3, and that will also allow the web server to reach out. Now we need to apply this access list to an interface on our router, so we'll go ahead and hop into interface G002, and we'll go IP access-group out. Sorry, we'll go IP access-group 1 out. We have to specify the access list number when we're making this command. So if we go ahead and exit out of here, we should be able to go show access lists. And we see that we've made this access list 1 that's going to permit the 20 network as well as 1 device in the 40 network, which is the web server. And if we do show run, we'll go ahead and begin interface. We can look here and we've got interface G002, and it does indeed have that IP access group 1 in the outbound direction. So that should be good for task number 2. Let's move on to task number 3. It says configure and apply an extended named access list called server access that restricts external access to the server to HTTPS only. So that'd be port 443. We got to ensure that this does not restrict external connectivity for the 20.20.20.0 network. So if we hop back into our router, go ahead and get back into global configuration mode. Now from here, we're going to issue the command IP access-list to be able to make a named access list. We're going to say extended, and then we're going to call it server access. We'll hit enter. You see our prompt change to tell us that we are now in configuration mode for that extended access list. Here we can go ahead and give our first access control entry. We'll number it number 10. We'll say permit TCP any to host 40.40.40.3 as long as it's equal to port 443 So that will allow any device to access our server on port 443. We'll go ahead and add another entry, give this one the number of 20, and we'll say permit IP any 20.20.20.0, 0.0.0.255. And that will ensure that we're not going to block any traffic to our 20.20.20 network when we apply this access list to our outside interface. So we hop into interface G002. We can go ahead and issue that same IP access group command, but this time we're going to use the name of it, which was server access, and we're going to put it in the inbound direction. Go ahead and hit enter on that. So essentially what that access list is going to do is right here on the interface G002, any traffic coming into this interface either has to be headed towards our server on port 443 or headed back into our 20.20.20 network. So moving on to the next task, it says verify internal devices can still reach the server. So we go ahead and start with PC1. Let's go ahead and hit the web browser. We'll go ahead and do HTTP 40.40.40.3. Of course, we're going to need our slashes here. And we can hit the web server over HTTP, so we weren't restricted to HTTPS only by that last access list, which is good. Hop into the other PC in the 20 network. We'll perform the same validation. We'll go HTTP://40.40.40.3, and we can hit it as well, which is good. Now on to task number 5, it says verify only PC0 can reach external devices. So we'll double check that he can ping 30.30.30.3, which is our computer on the external side, and he can. And then we'll hop into PC1 and make sure that he cannot ping 30.30.30.3. And that's telling us that our router either doesn't have a route or we're getting blocked by an access control list. So that looks good on task 5. Now task 6 says verify that external devices can only access the web server through HTTPS. So we hop into PC2, into our desktop, go into the web browser. So first we're going to go HTTPS 40.40.40.3, and we can reach the web server on HTTPS. Now if we try just HTTP, which is port 80, we hit go, give that a second for everything to load up, and we should get a message back saying that this is a timeout. And that's because we're going to be getting blocked by that access list that we put on the router. And there it is right there. So this was just a short, sweet demo of one way that you could utilize access control lists to further protect your network. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're getting something out of this course. Stick around for the next video, and we'll see you there.